Yeah, what you tell now about waving flags. When I first heard the album, I had the idea. It seems that in almost all songs, there is a message. Is that right? Well, waving flags, you just explained what it's about. But
I think that's one of the most active messages.
yeah.
Sometimes it's more like a description of things that are happening during the time from when we started writing the songs to when we finished the album. We wanted to include sort of things you might find in the newspaper, things from the present day, as a background to the album. So that maybe in 20 years or even if 100 years you had an archaeologist and they dug up a CD and they still had a CD player, they could play it. And it wouldn't just be a record from any time, anywhere, it would be from a place and a time, and you would get factual references and some of the sort of, the bigger topics.
Yeah. Sort of like a diary from
but not too personal sometimes.
No, but
But yeah. Like there's things about light pollution and not being able
lights
to,
out for darker skies.
Not being able to see the stars at night, and how electricity or even more modern technologies, things which once would have seemed like rare and magical things, just every day now, and sometimes you miss out on good things because of them, and it kind of sums up. Originally it was going to be a whole story about light from the cavemen to the future, lasers,
Yeah.
It seemed a bit silly, so it just ended up being a bit simpler.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. But can you give an example? You were writing on the record and then you opened the newspaper and that there was a song in that, or?
Well, so I was listening to the radio one day and they were interviewing probably a middle-aged man now, maybe an old man, about there's a place in England called Canvey Island, which is the name of the song.
Yeah.
And they were talking about these floods they had in 1953, and it's a tiny island in the Thames estuary, and they have like a football team there, and it's a small team, very loyal supporters. It's the biggest thing in their life.
Yeah.
And they were talking to this man about the floods, and like some people died in the floods, and he'd had a friend who died, and he'd gotten over that quite quick. He'd forgotten about it, but he still hadn't gotten over the fact that they'd lost all their football records up to 1953 in the floods. Bits of paper.
Yeah.
So there's a song about the floods, and it talks about bird flu virus as well, and another form of migration. We blame it on the birds instead of the people this time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and the first song, All In It. We're all in it. We close our eyes. That's not really clear, but you want something. I think that you have something to say there, or
maybe, but that's probably the most of the mysterious of the songs and the vaguest. It's more kind of subconscious, and it can't be too specific because it kind of sets the theme for the whole album, and you don't want to be too obvious.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, it can mean we're all in it, like we're all together, good, or we're all in it and it's everybody's fault because you could be closing your eyes to get some sleep, or you could be closing your eyes to hide from things, or it could be both. So,
yeah. So really open for interpretation.
Yeah, hopefully the other songs help it to mean something.